Last name is yeah, he's insanely funny. It's not intuitive to ask your dad if the bye. Go see mama. What do you do when your kids start asking if the earth is spinning? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Bye. It doesn't matter at all. He's not gonna. See you later, bud. I'll read you a book. Really more last name is yeah, he's insanely funny. It's not intuitive to ask your dad if the earth is a spinning ball. You know, it's not an important thing. I don't know how to spell quinoa. Oh, that's funny. Did he call you cracker? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He's got a little minority in him, and sometimes he gets mad at old Whitey. Tell him to jump and ask if he moved across the state. It doesn't matter. You have to understand something, guys. This is something that people need to understand about me. I don't care at all about grabblers and the earth moving when I'm with my family, because they're not exposed to these spells that are holding them back at all. Like, me and Amy never talk about grabblers, let alone me and my son. We don't talk about, like, sometimes me and Amy talk about whether or not this realm is a battery, but it just isn't important. It's important for young men to not have these spells hanging over them. They're not hanging over me. I'm good. It's like, this is the best stream you've ever done? Oh, well, thank you, Ethan. It cracks me up how kids are having so much fun that they go off going to the bathroom. It's a thing. They have a lot of fun. The earth is moving because of your family. Right. Walter won't be indoctrinated by spells. Exactly. It won't even be a thing. It's not even something that I have to break in his mind because it isn't there. And it's not, like, if I went to Walter like, buddy, dude, it's time to face reality that the Titanic was switched out by JP Morgan. He'd be like, you're silly, Dada. He wouldn't care at all, because it's all nonsense anyway. You know, like, one thing that I'm doing with my streams is burning through nonsense that affects people because of public school. He doesn't have that in his mind. Like, he doesn't know what a Jew is, and he won't. It will be easy for him to see the stupidity. Oh, I know. Well, it doesn't matter. It's almost like, this is my goal as a parent, is not to have him be like me, not to have him be like an outspoken, like, slayer of wizards and stuff. I want him to be so comfortable and healthy and with purpose and God that when someone says something, he just smiles. Is like, oh, okay. I don't think so, but, you know, that's my goal as a father, is to have him be just there, like, present. You know, I don't want him to have the scarring that I have, the fighting of demons that I have to do. He won't be exposed to spells. Right. I want him to have the antidote to the spells. I want to explain to him what lies are and what, you know, wizardry is and what bad people are and stuff like that, so that he has an ability to protect himself. Brave and kind. Exactly. I don't want him to be like me in that sense. I don't want him to be on the internet being like, why won't you admit the moon landing isn't real? I don't want him to be, you know, someone who does what I do. It's exhausting. I want him to just be. I want him to treat people that are under those spells the way I treat someone who likes CrossFit. Just like, oh, okay. I just don't want him to ever have to deal with this stuff, because a lot of it is in our minds and in our hearts and in our spirits. I've never met a Holocaust. I've never met an astronaut. I just see the effects of these spells on society, and they have to be broken in our souls because they were put there by wizards that said that they had our best interest in mind. The teachers, the media, the Hollywood, all that. I don't want him to have to deal with that at all. Like, I'm a scarred man. Like, it's obvious. Like, I've climbed out of some real pits in my life. And the last thing that I would want is my son to be that. You know, I know what the truth is, and he will pick the fruits of the seeds he planted. Thank you. That's what I want. I want him to be kind and strong and honor God his whole life. I don't want him to have to relearn it. I don't want him to have like, you know, I feel like my soul was in a cast and it still like tingles, like when you get an arm out of a cast, like it's still like itchy, you know? Best comedians have the most scars. Well, I mean, I know people with more scars, but I think one thing that makes my scars hurt is because I'm shedding them. That when you have to, the way to numb scars is to, the way to numb a scar is to just either ignore it or just become the scar. And people do it all the time. I know people that have been through a lot worse than me, but it doesn't hurt them as much because they just become dark. So to climb out of it, you have to feel like when you get frostbite and you're like warming your skin, it hurts, you know? It's like, I don't want him to have to feel that. I want him to be strong. I want him to feel pain to make him grow. I don't want him to be in a padded room, but I don't want him to be told he's a burden. I don't want him to be told that he's cancer like I was as a kid. I don't want him to be told that if he didn't exist, his dad would have a better life. You know, my homosexual father used to tell me that when I was 9, 8, 7. You know, he'd tell me that if I wasn't around, he'd have a better life. When he'd take me on car rides and stuff. And it's like, not one of the reasons I really started resenting my father especially is when I became a father and I realized just how absolutely insane that is. How insane it is to have a father that's pro-choice. It's just unreal. It's like a father that is like, he saw me. He held me. And it's like he still was like pro-abortion. Teach him to think and to love and to be courageous, and the rest will fall into place. Exactly. Never amount to anything kind of bullshit. It's gamma males. I'm not the only one, guys. This is standard behavior by baby boomer gamma dads, and there's millions of them. Millions. And it's like, that's why I'll tell this story, and people are like, oh, that's so, how do you tell that story? I'm like, because more than half of the dudes in here relate. What's one of the reasons I have such disdain for baby boomer dads? There's some good ones, obviously. But the amount of dads that treated their kid like a burden is unbelievable. My dad wanted me to abort it. It's just unfathomable. And we're breaking that cycle now. Our generations are not going to do that.